Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Would like to welcome you to our Hamilton County Board of Elections meeting. Today is November the 6th, 2023, and it is approximately 10:09 in the morning. And I'd like to also indicate that proper notice has been given as required under the Ohio Revised Code 121.22. So we're going to begin our meeting this morning with the Pledge of Allegiance. And as always, I'd like those who have served our country or serving us to lead us in the prayer, in the pledge. And again, thank you for serving. Following the agenda, we have first is approval of the board meeting minutes from October the 10th, 2023.
I know the meeting minutes were circulated.
That's right.
At this point, I will move approval of the board meeting minutes.
And I second.
Any changes or updates? Okay. The motion's been made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of the board remakes. I'm going to turn the meeting over to you, Ms. Poland.
Yes, Madam Chair, I do want to note that we've been informed we're having some technical difficulties, and the meeting is not being live streamed at the moment, but it is being recorded, and after the meeting, it will be posted to our website.
Okay, thank you very much. Mhm.
And we do have ballots that were remade and need the board's approval, and Krista Criddle, our administrator, will present those to the board.
Thank you.
Thanks,
So
Crystal.
the first category that we have are the UOCAVA ballots. Those are the ballots for the uniformed and overseas voters that have sent their ballots in. We email them and they return them, so we have to do those as a remake. Those are A1 through A95, A159 through A190, and A218 through A237.
I'll move approval of the UOCAVA ballots as remade.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries.
Thank you. The next category that we have are damaged ballots. So they were returned and they are damaged, and so we needed to remake those in order to scan them. They are A122 through A158, A191 through A197, A240 through A241, and A257.
I'll move approval of the damaged ballots as have been identified by Krista to be remade.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. The next category we have are ballots with stray marks. Those were reviewed by both the director and deputy director. And so we had to remake those ballots as they had stray marks or smears. Those are A101 through A121, A198 through A210, and A242 through A256.
I'll move approval of those stray mark ballots as remade.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries.
Thank you. The next category we have are ballots with voter intent, meaning that they made a mistake on their ballot and they indicated that very clearly on the ballot. Those also were reviewed by the director and deputy director. And I should indicate all ballots that are remade by a bipartisan team. But the voter intent ones are A96 through A100, A211 through A216, and A238 through A239.
I'll move approval of those ballots as remade.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. We have one remote ballot that was returned to us, and that ballot is A217.
I'll move approval of ballot A217 as remade.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? And that motion carries.
The next category we have are orphans. So these, as you know, we have a two-sheet ballot this election, and if voters return only one of those sheets, we do need to scan a complete ballot. So we have, and these, I believe were second sheets that came back, so we have to do a complete ballot. Those are A258 through A264.
I'll move approval of those ballots as remade.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Or did you have some
No, I
comment?
just, you might want to find a different term other than orphans.
Came back
Okay.
as a single sheet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting point, yes. All those in favor, aye.
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 Anyone opposed or abstaining? And that motion carries.
And then the last category that we have, we had a couple ballots that were returned that their sheet mismatches. So we got the front of one sheet and the second. We believe what happened was that they could have been someone who maybe made an error on their ballot and asked for a replacement ballot and they'd return the first sheet of one and the second sheet of another. So we remade those two ballots. It's A265 and A266.
I'll move approval of those ballots as remade.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Crystal. Next on the agenda is approval of logic and accuracy testing. Ms. Poland, can you
Yes,
provide that information, please?
Sure. On November 2nd, our staff performed the public test of our logic and accuracy testing. Again, this is just one test in a series of tests that is performed throughout the election cycle. The test went well, and the results are in your packet and need approval.
I'll move approval of the LNA.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? That motion carries. So, and now we're down to declaring the polls open at 6:30 tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. on November the 7th, 2023.
I'll move that we declare the polls open tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. on November 7th, 2023.
And I second that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries. Next, following the agenda is a discussion regarding the Mount Airy Nursing Home. Ms. Poland.
Yes, as the board is aware, during each election cycle, we send bipartisan teams to nursing homes to deliver ballots to residents of the nursing homes who are confined and have made a request for an absentee ballot. Our staff had scheduled an appointment with the Mount Airy Nursing Home for November 1st. And when our team arrived at the facility, all of the residents who were scheduled to vote had all been provided with the same information. One was a document that contained the voters' personal identifying information, and it's common for nursing homes to provide ID for voting purposes to the residents. Attached to that document, it was actually stapled to the document, was a flyer that was entitled, in November, Vote for Endorsed Democrats, Hamilton County Democratic Party. And it contains a list of Cincinnati City Council candidates, Cincinnati School Board candidates, municipal court judicial candidates, and then a handful of ballot issues. Our bipartisan election officials that observed this also reported that a number of the voters seemed confused and upset. These voters actually live in Springfield Township, not the city of Cincinnati. So when the team arrived back to the board, they reported the incident to our full-time staff members, who then reported to the deputy director and I, and we instructed those employees to create a written statement of what they had observed, and we have circulated those statements to the board prior to the meeting, along with a copy of the flyer that our staff obtained when they were at the facility. And we're now presenting it to you. A copy of all of those documents are also in your packets.
And this incident occurred on what date?
The afternoon of November 1st.
Okay.
So, Madam Chair, if I could have the floor, I've had a chance to review all of this material, and you know, look, a slate card from one of the political parties was given to residents. It would appear almost all the residents, along with handwritten information. We have a statement from one of our people that says the following: the residents were told this is the way you will vote. One of the staff stood over some of the residents when they were voting. She was asked to leave the room at least once. The voter felt intimidated and feared backlash. This requires further investigation by this board. Look, this is a vulnerable population. We do the appropriate service to go in and vote folks, but we cannot have staff or anyone else at these facilities coercing voters in either direction. And I think we should investigate this. I feel strongly about it, actually. I think we have an election tomorrow, and I know our staff's quite busy doing that. I know we typically have an anomalies process here where we investigate different voter anomalies. And I think, again, we have authority under the statute to issue subpoenas and to evaluate this. And while I'm not prepared today to do those things, only because I want to let the staff get through Election Day, I would like to have this as part of our anomalies process. And ultimately, I'm happy to look into it further and suggest who we subpoena, but I think it's important that we bring in some folks here and get to the bottom of why, staff may be coercing voters. And I think there's multiple statutory provisions under Ohio law that may be at play here, so I think it's appropriate that the board investigate. So that's my position, that we ought to investigate this at a future date during our anomalies process. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Well, I concur. We should look into it a little further. I concur.
Obviously, because it is an incident, there's no doubt that we should look into it further, and I agree. I'm sure this is just one that we've happened to become aware of. I'm sure, hopefully, this doesn't happen in other places, but agree, it is an incident. We need to follow up on it. Any more discussion? Do I need a motion to follow up on this?
Know that you need a motion at this point. What you've agreed to at least defer it till after the election.
Yes.
And make it part of the anomaly process. I don't know that you
That's
need a motion
correct.
at this point.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Moving on with our agenda, other business.
Yes, we do have a few items under other business. One is a cleanup item from previous board meetings regarding a resolution number. We had inadvertently assigned the same resolution number to two different resolutions. So we just are asking the board to clean up the record, so this will be part of the minutes.
Excuse me.
Resolution number 23-003 was previously assigned to the August 8th, 2023 special election funding agreement resolution that was adopted on July 7th. And then it was inadvertently also assigned to the resolution for our ballot printing contract that was adopted on August 21st. So we would like to clean that up by assigning resolution number 23-003A to the August special election funding agreement and resolution 23-003B to the ballot printing contract. A copy of those resolutions are in your
But
packet.
do you feel it's sufficient just for us to adopt them anew as A and B? Is that maybe the best way to do it?
I think as long as the minutes reflect that you're designating them as A and B, I don't know that you need to re-adopt them. The important thing is that, obviously the title could lend to some confusion with the same number on there. I think as long as the minutes are clear that they are separate resolutions, I think you're fine.
Yeah, at this point, just to be clear, I was clear about what we were voting on. There was no issue, I think, at all. I think this just came down to a kind of a scrivener's error, a small thing that occurs occasionally. So I've got no problem with the minutes reflecting, as well as our record this morning reflecting that 23-003A is part of the special funding, the election funding agreement, and B would be the ballot printing contract. So if that's sufficient, I don't have anything else.
And I'd just like to clarify that nothing has changed as far as the wording, the terminology, everything is exactly the same.
No, the resolutions have been passed as is. It's just a
Right.
matter of making sure that the minutes reflect that they're separate resolutions.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Have a motion?
Does it require a motion?
But I don't know that,
Required motion for this?
Just for the min-
I don't know, but you need to have a motion. The minutes are going to be signed as soon as Deb gets them approved, and.
That's true.
and,
Okay, thank you. All right.
Yes, Madam Chair, just want to report that staff has been hard at work. We are prepared for tomorrow's election. We have recruited and trained over 2,400 poll workers. Final deliveries of supplies and equipment out to the polling places are occurring right now. We had a little over 36,000 voters already cast their ballots at our early vote center, and over 27,000 have requested by mail. We're still waiting for about 15% of those to come back in the mail today and tomorrow. So over 57,000 voters in total have already voted in this election.
And how was our final day yesterday? I mean, I was here and it was unbelievable, but did we break any records or anything?
Yes, well, we, in the first hour, we processed over 800 voters, which we think is a record. We haven't, I don't think we've had a chance to double check that, but we think it is. And actually, yesterday was busier than the Sunday before voting during the 2020 presidential. So, but wait time was never more than 25 minutes. So staff did a tremendous job.
Great job, staff.
good job, everyone.
And
Awesome.
And I also kudos to all of the staff that are here and those that are not here today, as well as the volunteers. Just did a miraculous job. And one of the things that I just observed was how we handled individuals who had some sort of disability. There was a prompt response. I was very proud of all of those staff members that helped move that process forward. Everyone that I saw was very patient to the request that many of the voters had. And I'm just so proud to be part of an organization like this. You guys just showed out, and it was all very professionally done as well. So,
Pride and professionalism. Great job.
Yeah, I'll add one thing that luckily we're not live streaming here, but anyway, I had occasion to visit 5 different boards of elections over the last 48 hours, and I'm not going to say anything negative about any of the other ones, but I am going to say, as I told our director, we do it right here.
we do.
We do it right, and it's because of the hard work of everybody in this room. And I mean that. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. What we do here, we do especially well, and I think all of you deserve that credit.
And I just got to add, too, there were comments made. I was working with out-of-state individuals yesterday, and they had spent the day Saturday and Sunday in another state, which I will not acknowledge. But they clearly said there was an immense difference in how the process of engaging the voters to vote was so different. And they just were so amazed and impressed with how we were working. So we just showed out, and that was good. And that's just part of what we normally do. The other thing, many of you may be aware that we have a holiday coming up, and that holiday is Veterans Day. And we have several veterans that work with us here at the Board of Election, and this is our time. It's overdue at times, but it's always our time to acknowledge those veterans. So we're going to salute our veterans today that work with this system. So we're going to begin first with this really cool plaque. And again, it's such an honor to have this many veterans working here. So we're going to start first with saluting our veterans and ask you to come to the front, because I'd like you each to come as we salute you. We're going to start with first you, Mr. Mallory. You are.
Oh, me?
Here's a pen to salute you. I was going to try and pin it on you, but you
Your
got down
name is
there
first on the plaque, Joe.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
And the next veteran is Bill McJoint, Navy.
Bill?
Thank you so much for serving our country. The next one is Raquel Bourgeois. another Navy veteran. And the next one is Storm Boyd, Air Force. And the final one is Sean Dixon, Army. Come on, Army. Thank you for serving our country. Thank you so much.
Joe, why don't you hold that?
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Army.
Did we spell yours right? I haven't. Oh, look at this. This is so cool. And where are we gonna hang this?
It's gonna go right back.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
At the Wall of Fame.
We got it. Are you do you have a hammer and a nail?
It's already there.
The nail's already there.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And I do want to thank Mike Schrader. This was actually his idea.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Oh, my.
And I'm like,
We have also, I want to recognize Commissioner Denise Driehaus, and I think you want to say a few words? Oh.
Commissioner Reese is on her way, so doesn't have to be during the meeting, but I will wait for her to get here.
Okay, okay, thank you. Is there any other, I just want to thank you all. I am just so proud. And when I look at the room full of individuals in this room and the men and women who continue to work together, both all in a nonpartisan way, and your first goal is to present and the professionalism and able to work with complex individuals if they get a little irritated. I just witness that all the time. So it takes a special group, a special person that can carry out the job that we have here. And it's just so amazing, the work that you all do. Is there any other business?
No, not from staff.
Me neither.
So if there are no other business, we stand in recess.
Do I have to make a motion? I'll move that we stand in recess.
a second.
Any more? Anyone opposing? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.